Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the Unofficial Show. The Unofficial Show is back for our 7th episode. And where is William? It seems like we're always asking that question. Where is William? I don't know where he is. He said he was going to be here. I know he had a long night last night. I don't know what he was doing, but I tried to call him. I tried to message him. I don't know. Maybe he'll saunter in here anytime, but that's okay. So I just want to say, of course, the show is a lot better when William is here to banter back and forth with me. So forgive me if it gets a little boring. I'm going to do the best I can to carry it on my own because I don't even have like a backup. I should call Athena. Athena, let me send her a message and see if she can get in here. Athena, I need you. Where's William? Let me message her real quick. All right, sorry for the dead air time. Has this been the longest week for anyone else? This has been a super long week for me. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that. I know a lot of people, they're on like their second or third week back at school. We're on our second month. So it's just been long. A lot of things for work, a lot of things in personal life, and it's one of those weeks. I thought today was Friday. I told one of my students, I'll see you next week. They're like, I'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, oh, yes, you will. You're right. You will see me tomorrow. So I don't know if anyone else is feeling that, but let's turn to news. Let's turn to a couple of news clips that we have, or news tidbits. The first thing we could talk about our general news and the wildfires that are still raging on the West Coast. And I read something last night that the smoke has reached all the way to Europe. So they're seeing it now. And William, the last time I talked to him, like not in person, on a Zoom, he was like suffering with, it sounded like upper respiratory. So I think the air quality is super bad right now, and it's starting to affect people's health. So that's really bad. And then of course we had Hurricane Sally rolling on in at the that's not the Panhandle, that's the Gulf Coast. Now the Gulf Coast is one of my favorite places to vacation. And so my husband and I, we talk about getting a place down there, buying a house down there, maybe retiring down there. And he says, I'm not retiring down there. It's super dangerous. Yeah. Athena's messaging me about the different time this week. Yeah, it's a different time because some of you may or may not know that I actually am involved in workshop facilitation. So I'm facilitating this week. And so my time is a little bit off because of that. So if you missed the show, sorry, but we do have the replay always available. So hopefully Athena will come on in. And so I was talking about, he said he didn't want to buy a house down there on the Gulf Coast because that it's dangerous. The storms always come in through there. I know there was a lot of damage, and I definitely don't want to downplay the people who had floods and damage to their property, but it wasn't as bad as the last time we were talking about hurricanes. So we're a little bit grateful about that. And it's, dissipating somewhere over, I think it was in Alabama last night. So I don't know where it is at the moment, and it was only a hurricane category 2 when it touched the shore at the Gulf Coast. So that's a blessing. I know it's still dangerous. It's still really high winds and things like that, but at least that was, not as bad as. She's asking me what time. What time is it? And I'm like, now, it's now. Come on in, it's now. So let's see if she's going to be available for that. And we're going to move on in our topics for the news. The news is the scavenger hunt. So last week I gave a little tease about that scavenger hunt. And unfortunately, I still only have a tease for it, right? So let's get Athena in here. I need somebody to banter back and forth with. The scavenger hunt is still going to be the next couple of days. Keep an eye out for information on how you're going to win your Kobe and Momo plushies if you are a QKids teacher. And even QKids teachers are who are not QKids teachers, you can win it too. It's open for anyone. And the idea is going to be, I'm going to release a list of scavenger hunt items, and you're going to have to find certain items within the last 6 or 7 shows. Yay, Athena! Let's have her come on in. So in the last 6 or 7 shows, we're going to have some things that you're going to look for, and I think probably the person who gets me their answers first is going to be the Kobe and Momo plushies winner. Athena, you're coming to save the
Hello.
day. Oh, you're saving the show. William owes you big time.
What's he gonna owe me?
I don't know. Maybe some more plushies? Some QKids swag?
My plushies are coming today.
Oh, so you don't even want that, right? I don't know, but he's gonna owe you big time. Yeah. So you're muted. Unmute yourself. Don't use your space bar.
I'm so used to using my space bar because I'm supposed to be quiet.
Well, no, I want you to banter back and forth with, because I think people might be a little bored just listening to me. I don't know.
I doubt it.
So we were talking about the hurricane. It didn't come in as strong, so that was good. We just started talking about the scavenger hunt, and the next couple days, I'm going to try to get something out. Has it been a super long week for you?
Not particularly. No. I
Oh,
mean, waiting to hear if I've got another job. Definitely. Everything else, no.
okay. And did you get it?
I did. I thought I sent you the link.
You
Yes,
did.
I
I was just,
absolutely did. I'm so excited.
You did send it to me, but for show purposes.
Yes, I did get it. And now I just got to go to the next step.
All right, good. So the next thing that we have, and congratulations on that, by the way. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Yes. I give myself a little plug. Athena's talking about teaching for Outschool. Together, we worked on her application and her video and got her approved, and she is ready. She's got a really kicking design for some classes, some really unique classes. You want to talk about it for a second?
Yeah, just a tiny little blurb about fashion. So I'm going to have all different kinds of fashion classes. I've had girls from the neighborhood tell me, I want this class and this class and this class. And I'm like, have so many classes to develop. So there's going to be a bunch out there.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for you because I think you're going to take off on there. I really do, because that's a different topic. Not everybody's teaching on that. So
and that's my background. So yeah,
perfect. And so if anybody else wants to look at the Outschool option, you can let me or Athena know, and we'll try to help you as best as we can go through that process. It's really not that bad, right? It's not that painful.
This was my 3rd try. So as long as you can keep trying, if you don't get it the first time like you did, you're awesome. So as long as you keep at it and you have a really good coach, because I also went through 3 different coaches. I'm going to tell you right now, I am not a good coach. So you take all of them. I have a lot of classes to develop.
Yes, you do. You do. Okay, so come and see me if you want to be an Outschool teacher, and we'll get you applied and on there. Okay, and so in QKids news, we're going to go through this pretty quick because I actually have a lot of stuff that I wanted to touch on teaching for today. So in QKids news, the fall workshops are happening right now. There's another one this afternoon in about an hour and 45 minutes. So that's why we're doing the show early, because I'll be facilitating that one. And then I believe there will be some more next week. I'm not 100% sure, but the pattern has been Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning and an afternoon. And then anything that you may have missed is going to be made up briefly, very quickly. So keep an eye out for the announcements in October. And they're also talking about like some kind of social meetup with a panel and an official QKids.
Nice.
So keep an eye out for information on that too, where it's going to be a little bit more informal way of getting some questions answered.
Do you have any way of putting a plug in for those teachers that are not available during the day? Because I've seen a lot of people having a problem with that. They want to attend, they can't attend.
Yes, I do believe that October is going to include some of those evening hours.
Good.
Yeah. So just keep an eye out. That's not anything official. This is the unofficial channel. So we're, I can't verify anything, but I have heard that there's been a little bit of talk about that. So, and we also have in October some holiday hours coming up. for the
Oh,
first week. There's a couple of extra hours on there. So look on your platform for that announcement as well. But then there's also a Saturday that's not, nah, there's no hours on the Saturday
right.
because they're all going to be at festivals and they will not come to class. So
Yay. And they'll be so excited when they come back. They're going to want to talk and talk and talk.
yeah, yeah. So I did want to mention we have the new applications are out. We have the new platform. We also have the new app on our phone, and we also have some new classes that have been popping up here and there in QKids. And I just want to encourage people that if you notice that there's a spelling error or just a weird little error or glitch or something that you used to see but you don't see that you really depend on, send your coach a message or mostly your coach. I would say send your coach a message before CCT because CCT has a very specific job of managing classes, and class coordination team is their official title. So we don't want to bombard them with this kind of feedback, but do send it to your coach. QKids really appreciates that feedback. It's not easy to create all of this stuff, and even English speaking companies have mistakes sometimes. So always be on a watchful eye, and then just send that into your coach and say, hey, I noticed this on the app, or I noticed this on the phone, or I really missed this. And they do, and in the lessons too, they're looking for your feedback there. So
Yeah.
if you notice that,
And I will say, I
they
mean,
change it.
you and I might do this both, is that we've taught the same classes so many times that we just don't see a reason to go through that class before it starts. But I
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What? That's a cliffhanger. What do you think? What? All right. So I guess we're going to have to go on. I hope she comes back, but that's okay. Um, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is the QKids Phonics. QKids Phonics has been officially launched in the United States and Canada. It is for any United States or Canadian child for reading, for phonics specifically. So we're looking for students. We want to encourage students to come in. So share the information, share it with your neighbors, share it with your sons or daughters that are grown up and have little children. Share, you have children at home. It's not just for QKids teachers. It is for everyone and anyone to experience the wonderful world of QKids, where we combine live teachers with this really great animated platform and just bring language to life for students. And in this aspect, we're teaching them reading, we're teaching them phonics that gives them that really great foundation of reading. And it's a super program. So I'm really pushing for it. They have a monthly graduation where each student gets a Momo or a Kobe. And you might say, well, why can't I just use ABC Mouse? Or why can't I just use Hooked on Phonics? Why can't I just use any of these other online programs? Because they don't have a live teacher. They don't have that live teacher that's making the sounds for them to hear and telling them you're doing a good job, or correcting a few mistakes that they might have. So that's really a great thing about these classes, that there's a live teacher there guiding your child. And they have Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Just look for QKids Phonics on there and follow them and help them get that push going. And if you are a parent or teacher involved in QKids Phonics, send your photos into QKids Phonics, because they're looking for all of those photos. You've seen them popping up on the Facebook forum, and they're also popping up on Instagram and Twitter. So help them out. Give them a little blurb. Give them your pictures. All right, so now for the last 10 minutes of the show, I always go longer than I want to. I'm going to discuss some teaching stuff. The first thing I wanted to talk about is upper level classes in QKids. The upper level classes in QKids are specifically designed for test preparation. And so I hear a lot of the times that there's so much information packed in there, and there's so many different activities that they have to complete that have to do with this. And the reason is that it's specifically preparing them for certain kinds of tests that these students are taking. So, and some of those I believe are timed tests. So that element of speed is essential. So do we want them to speed read? No, and I usually slow them down and make sure that they read well as opposed to speed reading, because you can miss some little details when you speed read as well. But again, we do want to keep and we do want to keep that clock going. So there isn't time for the extensions that we might be using in other levels. We really have got to stick to the material. But if you do that and you get a good reading pace out of them, then you can finish these lessons in time. I have had success doing that. So that's just a little bit about those. That's why they're designed that way on purpose. So today we're talking about level 4 learners. Those are kind of your, if we step outside of the QKids boundary, which is, kind of what I'm trying to do here. I don't want to be completely QKids specific. So when I say level 4, I'm probably talking about your upper beginners. Upper beginner level. Okay, so they're starting to approach that beginning intermediate. They're starting to come out of the beginners. They can actually start to have a little bit of conversation with you. Now, they don't always understand, especially when you ask them WH questions. They don't always understand. They don't always distinguish. And I think that's mostly because they don't really listen. So where we might have in level 3, we were talking about level 3, they're ready to go and they're just eager and wanting to, and they're not parroting because they just want to keep moving forward. I think that an issue with level 4 with these upper beginners is that they're not listening to what you have to say. They're so ready to speak, they just don't listen. So they're still very eager. I've found that level 4 are still very eager and they're excited to have that back and forth. But and you're not so confined to being not able to put other language in there. Like I've talked about cutting your teacher language and making sure that you only are using target language or very, very basic encouraging language. This level, I'm suggesting that you can go a little bit further. But again, your talk time needs to be more like a 40, 60, even 30, 70 at this point, where the student is speaking 70% of the time and the teacher is speaking 40% of the time. So that might look like asking a question and allowing them to have that answer and saying something like, oh, yeah, what else? And so you're just giving them those little opportunities to continue going. All right, so here comes Athena back in. This is the crazy show. This is the crazy mixed up nutso show. No William. Athena comes to the rescue and then she dumps us and
The drama.
this is definitely the most dramatic show.
It is. It
Now I
really
just need
is.
somebody to come on here and start like yelling at me. Nicole, would you like to?
What did I miss? Just really fast.
Okay, you missed us talking about the upper levels where
Okay.
I said that they are specifically designed for test taking. So that element of so
Okay.
much packed into a little bit of time is
Okay.
purposeful. It's purposeful. They're
Okay.
doing that so that they learn to work with the material quickly. And then we were talking about level 4.
Oh, we're on level 4 now.
Yes, which
Good.
is the
That's
upper.
this week for me.
Good. That's the upper beginner and heading into intermediate, but not quite there yet because they don't listen, right?
Oh, okay. That's going to be fun.
But that's true. So you've been doing level 4 all week long. When you
No,
ask,
next week.
oh, next week. Okay. So, all right, good. So these are good cautions for you. When you ask them a question, they aren't paying attention to the word that you're using in the beginning, the what or the which or the where or the how. This question, that is the word that they don't listen to. And then they just assume what they hear and they'll answer a completely like that's not what I asked you. So you got to bring them in and repeat that question very clearly, that question word. Okay.
Okay.
And there's still
That'll be fun.
yeah, and we're looking for that 70% student, 30% teacher ratio for talking. So you can vary your language more than just keeping on target language and simple encouragement. You can vary it to being like, hey, that's really great. Can you tell me more? And they should be able to handle that kind of language.
Right.
Still kind of simple, but a little bit different so that they're being propelled to continue moving forward.
Okay. So I've got to learn to go backwards because I've been doing level 5, like for months.
Yeah, so level 5, you can really have that, and they at that point, they've broken out of that, "I'm not listening, I'm not catching that keyword." They've broken out of that, and they can really just go back and forth with you,
Well,
and
thank you for the preparation. This is going to help a lot.
good, 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 but they'll talk and talk and talk, so you gotta be ready to cut them off or bring them back,
Okay.
right? Bring them back
Okay.
to the lesson. Good. So, and they'll still have a lot of those grammatical errors that you see in level 3. So they'll be dropping the S on the
Mhm.
verb. Okay. They'll be
Okay.
leaving out those articles. And so we definitely want to make sure we stop them and we say, school bag, book, or whatever it is, and make that sticky moment for them so that they don't continue on making those errors. If we catch them early, then once they get to those higher levels, it really just becomes part of their language instead of a
All right.
part of their language. Okay, and then the last little thing that I was going to talk about today as far as language learning is communicative. Communicative, what does that mean? What is communicative? So if we have TESOL training, if we've gone into depth of TESOL training, we know that communicative is one of the most effective ways of teaching language. It's one of the most effective methods of language acquisition, teaching strategies. And what it does is it's the emphasis on interaction. Okay, so interacting and with the goal of language learning, so the student is being forced to talk. Okay, so
Right.
that's this idea when I ask a question and then I wait. What am
And
I waiting
sometimes
for?
it feels like you're waiting
Yeah,
forever.
it does, but you're fostering that communicative approach, okay? Where we're looking at the forcing them to have to communicate, forcing them to have to use language. Why is this so important? Aren't they still going to make lots of mistakes? Yes,
That's
they
the
are.
point.
They are. But it's so much better to use a language and make mistakes than to use just a teeny bit of language perfectly, right? Because when we're talking in a conversation, we're using lots of language. And hey, don't we make mistakes when we're talking too?
Yeah, it's English.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, just a slip of the tongue, a muddled word here. This word is what I wanted to say, but this one is what came out. These are natural language use. No matter what language is your first language, it's going to happen. And so, with this idea that we have to be perfect isn't how we gain language. We don't want to gain language to be able to speak it absolutely perfect. We want to gain language so that we can use it. And
Yeah,
we
I
will
mean,
use it with
I would say that whenever you have to correct yourself, you basically had to acknowledge it is not that way. This is the way, and it sticks a little better.
Yes, absolutely. That's absolutely true. Yep. And the good thing about when level 4, so we still use target language when we're using a communicative method of teaching. We still use target language, but we do it in a more natural way. Okay. So today we might talk about clothes, right? Oh, what shirt, what color is your shirt, or what are you wearing? And so this is a communicative way of teaching and learning, but we're going to be focused on clothes or colors, or we're focused on a certain thing, but we're using this back and forth type of thing. And that's what QKids really does.
Mhm.
It fosters that communicative method. I don't know about other companies because I haven't. See,
Yes,
I
that's
did
how you learn.
I did that on purpose.
Right. Yes. Thanks for that learning teaching moment.
Okay, so I don't know about other companies because I haven't worked for any that give you curriculum. All the other ones I have made my own curriculum. Oh, except for the one company, but it was a nightmare. Like there
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
everything wrong
we're not
about
going to
that one.
mention.
No,
Yeah.
we're not going to do that.
Thanks for helping me avoid. Yeah.
Okay. So, but that's generally a really good way is to keep a target language, but allow for a flow with it, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Because why? Because it has a purpose. We can use that language, right? We
Well, and I
use
will
that.
often say, speak to mom and dad. They have something to speak about. They've
Yeah.
just practiced.
Yeah, go tell your mom, go tell your dad, go
Yeah.
ask what's for dinner, right?
Yeah.
What, or go ask, where are we going? Use this language. And because we can find information, we can break down the barriers between cultures. We learn to talk about ourselves, right? We all love to talk about ourselves. So,
Yeah.
and we learn about the culture of another place by this particular method. So the communicative method is my favorite. It's my favorite. There's a bunch of other methods and they are useful and they do have their place. But the communicative one is, I think, the one that fosters the most being able to talk in the language. And isn't that what we all want? I
Yes,
mean,
that's the point.
I don't really want to sit around and read and write
You don't want to learn
Spanish.
about centuries and decades all day, every day.
Not really, because I only use that tiny little bit of time in my language.
Whole
You know what I
life.
mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So is it important to learn? Yes. Is it something we should have target on every day? No, because it's
Mhm.
not useful every day. We want that useful everyday language.
Yes.
That's the communicative method goal. Okay. Awesome. So that wraps it up for today. Where's
Yay.
Where's William? That's going to be like the theme of the show. Where's
It's
William?
gonna where's Waldo?
Yeah,
Where's William?
we're completely rebranding Where's Waldo? Where's
Exactly.
Wildo? Where's
Where's
Wildum?
Will Wildum?
Time for me to go.
Okay.
Bye everybody. Thanks for
Bye.
coming. Thanks for watching. See you next
Ah,
time.
later.